Good afternoon, Your Honor. Excuse me. I've been battling a little bit of a cold this week. I lost my voice. When I was 16 years old, I decided to apply to college and study biology and pre-med because I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to help people through their pain and suffering, but more importantly, I wanted to heal people. The first line of the Hippocratic Oath reads, "I will do no harm." On March 25th, 2022, I did the opposite of that. I did harm to someone else, and my entire being was crushed. My career path took a different course than medical, but my morals, values, and ethics have always remained the same. And I've had time to consider things like some of the good that came from my career. Through my time in the industry, I was able to help people from one end of the spectrum to the other. I entertained and brought happiness to some people's lives. Once I was able to help a stranger who was having a seizure at one of my appearances at a convention. And I've made terminally ill children's wishes come through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I have done something horrible, but I am so much more than the worst that I have done. I try to think about the good I've done, because when I sit alone thinking about what I did to the Lasser family that tragic day, from a stupid decision, I feel the regret and remorse deep inside my soul. I know that they don't get to rest knowing he's gone. Because when I was 20, I lost my father as well, to heart disease. And just last August, my 87-year-old mother passed away while I've been incarcerated. I never got to say goodbye to her, just as they didn't get to say goodbye to their beloved family member. I know how it feels, how it hurts, how it tears your heart out. And for that, I'm truly, truly sorry. I know my words are not enough, but please know that I think about you every day. Every second of every day. And I know I will do whatever I can to make the changes I need to make sure this never happens again. No one should have to go through this. And please know that every single second of every day since the crash, I have wished I could trade places with you. I try to think back to what caused my downfall. And I think it started with the death of my fiance, Chris, in 2005. He was tragically taken from this world. And I hated myself for not being able to change things for him, to heal him and care for him, and keep him safe. But what followed was a huge string of mistakes that I should have learned from. I should have learned, but I couldn't connect my mind to my heart to do the right thing. There are many things in my life that I wish I would have done differently. But they say everything happens for a reason. I refuse to go backward and make the same mistakes again. Because the pain I feel in my heart for what happened is indescribable. It haunts me daily and each night in my nightmares. But the only way to fix it is to truly change my path. If I could turn back time, I would. If I could find a way to change the events that happened that day, I would in a heartbeat. If I could bring Mr. Lasser back and take his place, I would in an instant. I feel that if I was given the chance to change, to redeem myself, and if I used my resources, my personal experiences, my history, and a little bit of the fame that I garnered a long time ago, I can be a true asset to the community by helping to educate our youth and adults about the dangers of drinking and driving, the dangers of not having your mental illness properly treated, and the catastrophic events that can result from it. A precious life was lost that tragic day, and I am so incredibly sorry for that. I would ask that you give me the opportunity to atone for what I've done, and then to be released into society to contribute to it in the most positive way possible. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any other way that you could read the Gabriel case, and I think in fairness, the defense has sort of acknowledged that that's pretty much the situation. So in regards to counts 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, is that accurate? The misdemeanors pursuant to the negotiations and adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence her to 364 days concurrent with any other counts in this case, with credit for the 364 days that she's already served. She's actually got more credit than that, but that's a statutory maximum. In regard to count 2, driving under a suspended license causing death or serious bodily injury, I do note it is an aggravator that she had no valid license, and she's not only choosing to drive, but choosing to drive under the influence. Pursuant to this, and state, not to be nitpicky, but I actually come up with the amount of 10.6625 would be the minimum and the maximum. So just to clarify specifically in calculating, I'm going to adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence her to 10.6625 years in the Department of Corrections. Her credit is 566 days, so with credit for the 566 days. On count 1, the DUI manslaughter, second-degree felony, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. I'm going to sentence you consecutively to 7 years in the Department of Corrections to be served after the 10.6625, with, again, credit for, well, she's already gotten credit, I guess, on count 2, so that would already be applied. In regard to the remaining 8 years, I'm going to sentence you to followed by 8 years of probation, the conditions of which are following. Let me see where I get to this one. There is a 4-year minimum mandatory to count 1, so the first 4 years of that term will be a minimum mandatory sentence. Conditions will be standard conditions of probation, plus she must have a substance abuse evaluation with any follow-up treatment. She must have the alcohol safety education course. If that overlaps with the substance abuse evaluation, of course, there would only be one required. Victim awareness program, 50 community service hours, $10,000 fine, and her driver's license will be permanently revoked. Otherwise, any standard fines and costs. State is not requesting cost of prosecution, cost of investigation, so I'll not be applying those. All right, does that cover everything? State?
And also no information.
All right. Any questions, Ms. Sytch? All right. You have 30 days to appeal. That must be in writing with the clerk of court. If you cannot afford counsel, appoint counsel to represent you.
Yeah, let's do it.